in arrears, the format is we start with opening balance, correct? The balance brought down, plus or minus, vector, plus interest, and then we minus out the lease payment, and we got a closing balance. If is they ask to find the balance on year 1, we need 2 years, correct? To find current, non-current. In advance, we start with opening balance, then the lease payment, we minus out the capital. This one paid in advance. Means today I borrow, today I pay. This is my capital balance outstanding. Okay. Today is my balance. Today I pay. This is a balance today. End of the year, I'm going to pay my interest, charge interest, and this is my closing balance. Okay. So to know this is my liability. To know my current, non-current, I need to calculate second year as well, but until here only. Okay. So first year interest, we make payment, and the first year we need to calculate second year. So we need these 2 years to know current, non-current. But for in advance, we know these 2 years. Alright. Okay. Number 6. Question 6. Magnum entered into a 5-year lease for a machine with initial measurement of 30, the present value of minimum lease payment. Remember what's the present value of minimum lease payment? Or the lease payment payable in the future with discount to present value. Lease payment are 5.2 payable in advance, and the interest implicit in the lease is 15.15. Okay, so should we recognize asset and liability? Yes. Okay. What's the condition to recognize as asset and liability? I mean, as a lease. So to satisfy the definition or the recognition test for IFRS 16, there must be what? There must be something? No. There must be a lease, or at least the contract is a lease, or the contract contain a lease. Okay. Contract is a lease, or contract and lease contain a lease. Then there must be identified asset, correct? And the right to use the asset. Right to use. Yes, Prof. Remote. Yeah. Seven. All right. Yeah. Oh, you took F6 before? June. Pass it, yeah. Okay, good student. Okay, we look at the recognition here. In case you forget quickly. Where is it? Yeah. A contract that is a lease or contain a lease, they convey the right to control. The control means you can use the asset for your own purpose, and you can change the purpose. All right. And in the contract, there is an identified asset. It's mentioned in the contract. Right at the beginning there. First page. You can see it. And then we have 2 examples on the right to use, because over here, the first one, I actually engaged this transporter, okay, to transport from London to Edinburgh. Okay, so what happened is the contract is signed, and then the route is from London to Edinburgh. What happened is the transporter will then book this truck and to help us to transport the goods, fix anyone. But do we have control over the truck? So over here, we have no control over the truck because the haulier means that operate and maintain the truck. We do not operate, we do not maintain the truck. Okay, so we have no control. Therefore, it does not contain a leak. Okay, so this one here, we have control because we will keep over the weekend, we will keep the asset. However, if we need repair, they will take back the asset and they will replace one with a new one. Okay, has a right or obligation to substitute the asset when repair is necessary. So when we mention the word control, I have the control over the asset, but they have the right to take back provided it is for repair purposes. So with that, we're going to recognize asset and liability. So we're going to calculate the present value of minimalist payment here, discount, 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 discount to get the present value. And this present value we're going to recognize as asset and liability here. Asset and liability. If the question did tell us that we have to pay an initial amount, initial direct cost, okay, additional payment, or they give us an incentive less any incentive received, so our asset will reduce. So the asset may be different from our liability because of this additional payment here. Otherwise, it will be the same. Okay. Then what are we going to do with the asset? Of course, we're going to depreciate. Okay. The shorter of the useful life, the asset may be 10 years, but the term is only 3 years, so we depreciate over 3 years. Okay. If the asset, the title, the ownership is transferred at the end, then we use the original useful life. Okay. Then what are you going to do with this liability? Asset, we're going to depreciate. Liability, we're going to amortize. Amortize either in advance or in arrears. Okay. So, however, there are some exemption. Short-term lease or low value, yeah, we're going to recognize as rental. We're not going to recognize asset and liability. Otherwise, we will recognize asset, depreciate, liability, amortize. Done. Number 6. So this question, present value 20,000 and no other initial payment, no direct cost, no incentive, straightforward. So in advance, therefore, asset no need to show anymore, is confirmed 20,000 and the depreciation will be over how many years? 5 years. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 5 years. So depreciation is over 5 years. And let's look at the lease liability. (2014) year end 2014, balance brought down 20. Okay, then plus or minus this payment, 52. So we have a capital outstanding. Today is 14.8, and then we're going to charge interest, which is at 15.15%, and we have the balance carried out closing. (2242). F7D18V13. So we deal with year 1 first, which is year 14, but we need to calculate 2 years. $11. SPL. What are the charges to the SPL? Interest. Of course, we start with sales all the way down. Before interest, we have correct, yeah, it's one of them. Yeah, we started with sales down. We have which one covers depreciation or interest? Yeah, depreciation, right? Then we got PBT, then tax, interest, then tax. So depreciation, year 1 or 214. $20,000 divide 5. Interest. We have depreciation means we have PTE. Interest means we have a liability, both current, non-current. Current liability. LL means lease liability. Non-current liability, lease liability. Current. Okay. So of course, in our earlier example, the current, non-current liability, it was current at the bottom, non-current at the top. Usually exchange about it. Good. So year 2, year 3, you know what to do already, lah. Now, my question. What if this example, use this example. What if the 20,000 assets, okay, or the contract here is treated by the company as a rental, as a normal lease? How is it going to affect the profit? Repeat the question. So this question here, the 20,000 we recognize as asset, recognize liability, and the subsequent depreciation and interest. Okay, and if the company make a mistake, okay, or the company do not understand this particular standard, and they recognize this 20,000 as from their understanding is a rental. Okay, not so it's a rental means it's like the old standard means operating this. I treat it every year as a rental, expense. So how is it going to affect the profit? Wrongly treated as operating this as rental. You know, the substance so forth. Okay, the contract, they say, okay, every month I'll pay rental, and I'll charge as expenses. But by applying substance form or in accordance to this standard, we must recognize asset and liability. So they recognize as rental, which is wrong. So they must recognize as asset. So how? Can you understand the question? Not really? Yes? understand the question? Now, what is the impact? The impact is the same. Okay, this one actually in one of your revision kit, you have one whereby they treat wrongly the impact on the profit. So what we have recorded here is 52 expenses, correct? We have recorded as 52 expenses. However, this we should record 20,000 asset, 20,000 liability. So not 5,002 expenses today. So the impact on the profit, okay, is if it has been recorded correctly, then this will be recognized as asset liability, and we have to charge depreciation and also interest. These two. My expenses would have been 6242, but I recorded my expenses as 5200, so my expenses should have been higher by about 1042. Okay, not? My expenses will be higher by 1042. Okay, so or they can put it this way: the company accidentally wrongly treated this as 52 as expenses rental, and the company would like to correct this error. So when they correct this error, means they're going to recognize these expenses, means the profit will be lower or higher. It will be lower. Okay, the impact after the correction. Two things. The impact on the profit is should be 6.2. However, recognize 5.2. We recognize lesser. The profit is actually higher. After the correction, when we recognize 6.2, the profit will drop. So before the correction, after the correction, read the question carefully. Okay. Next one. We try to look at MCQ question. See if you can do it in 2 minutes or not. Question 10. We look at the following pages. Question 10. Time's up. So need to practice on MCQ as well. 2 minutes. 2.4 minutes. Okay, can okay, A. From one, A. No. So this one, you have to look at the question a bit carefully, right? Because they may ask for non-current liability. And one more thing is the date. Okay, can they ask for current liability? Yes. Can they ask for interest? Yes. So non-current liability, current liability, interest, and at different year. So you have to look at the date carefully. 1st January 8, and they want the liability at year end of 2009, means 2 years later. How should I classify them? And when we look at this, and they mention paid in advance, correct? Paid in advance, paid in arrears. So paid in advance will be something like this. So meaning we have to calculate how many years? We have to calculate 3 years. We need year 2 and year 3. Okay. So in your exam, do you do this? Like this? I mean, as in you do it as when you want to find the answer, you're going to work it out, correct? So are you going to do this one by one and then look it very nicely when it's MCQ question? No, you just want to pick A, B, C, D, right? So you have to do it very quickly. And we know it's minus, and then we times 15%. In calculator, what do you do? If we use this, you take 20,000, you minus 5,2, right? Equal. When you equal, you got this. Then how to get this? 70. I mean, in calculator, what do you press? 14800, correct? Plus, plus. No, you do not know this interest here, right? Yeah, you use the bracket. Normally, I don't use bracket. I just times with 1.1515. Done. Yes. Huh? This when I take 20 minus this equal, you must equal first. You don't equal, then your answer will be different. Why? Because they were minus and times. We will do times first, right? So you must take 20,000 minus 5,2. You will straight away times with 1.1515. They will times first, So you must equal to get the answer first. You can try. Then you get 17042. But we want this here, right? This one and this one here. What do you do with 17042? You repeat minus 52 equal. Then you times with 1.1515. Then you got this. You put it down in your answer. Then you minus 52. That is your non-current. Correct? But what happened? If they ask, what is the interest charge in year 1? 14,800. You times with 0.1515 to get the interest. 0. But you want to get a total, you just add another 1. Including 1 means including the capital. So you try it here. Question number 10. So what I did was, or you can try 6600 minus 14 equal. That is 5,002. I times with 1.06. How much I got? 512. Okay. Then what I do is 512. I minus 14 again. Equal. It will be 4112. I times with 1.06. That is my non-current liability for the year end. So I minus another 1/4 to get my non-current. Yeah, yes. 12, huh? Don't know. Let's find out. On this date, Pinto entered into a lease agreement, PBLMLP, was 7/2, and the term of the lease were deposit 2/4 payable now. And 3 further installment will be 200 payable in 9 and 10. The rate is 12. What is the amount of finance charge rising? Finance charge. And when? 2009, year 2. So this is in advance. 720 minus 24. Fine. A. Okay. Come on. Can do it in 2 minutes. This one. Cannot. Yeah. No, there's one more part on leasing. Can we now look at sale and leaseback? Page should be around page 9. Our first one pages that you can agak-agak page 9, point number 4. sale and leaseback transaction. Okay, so earlier part on the leasing, the one actually quite straightforward. As you practice, you realize that actually is the same one. Now, sale and leaseback transaction for F7, I suppose is so important only but we still have to know because it's the syllabus. So, sale and leaseback is this: we sell. Now, this is a company, and this is others. So originally, we will lease the asset from the others, correct? The leasing company We will lease means we will rental from who is the lessor, who is the leasee? We are the leasee, correct? Last time when we lease, we rent from other people. The one that lease out is the lessor. We are the leasee. So what we're going to do from our point of view as a leasee, recognize asset, recognize liability. Unless it's a short term or low value, we recognize as rental. But now, my side, this is me. I have an asset, I sell. And then I lease it back. Excuse me. Then I lease it back. So the asset is with who now? Is it with me? The asset current now is in possession by who? Us or the leasing company? Us. Okay, now we sell it to them, we get the money. And then money, when we sell means we receive the money immediately. So I receive the lump sum money now. Then I will slowly pay back the money to them because I lease it back, we have to pay lease rental. So I receive a lump sum now, okay, and then I'll pay slowly rental, lease rental, or lease payment. Is it okay? Sale and lease back means from my point of view, my operation is not affected because the asset still with me. Though the only difference now is last time I own the asset. When I sell, I do not own the asset, correct? When I sell, I do not own the asset anymore, so it's a de-recognition. Then when I lease back, what they thought here as when I lease back means I'm going to pay rental. I'm going to receive a full lump sum from the sale, and slowly I'm going to pay off the lease rental. So now, is this one of the way to raise cash? Is this one of the way to raise cash without affecting my operation? Yes. Sale and lease back, because I got one lump sum here, and then slowly I'm going to pay back. And by applying IFRS 15, when we lease back, must we recognize back the asset and liability? 14? The front part okay or not? Not yet? No. Okay. Now that we lease back to our original understanding here, when we lease back, we must recognize back the asset, recognize back the liability. Okay. So you see, the first step here, we de-recognize the asset because we sell. When we lease it back, we're going to recognize back the asset. Correct? So we're going to recognize asset and liability. So we have transaction that constitute a sale. We learn in IFRS 15, revenue from contract with customer. So we have COPA, recognition. Make sure there's a contract. Identify the obligation, the price, and then once we know the price, we can allocate to the obligation, allocation, and sometimes we can recognize on time or recognize over time. Okay, so when it is constitute a sale, means they meet the IFRS 15. When meet IFRS 15, if the transaction does constitute a sale under IFRS 15, then the treatment will be what? The seller. We are the seller here. So are we also the leasee? Because we lease back. So we are the seller because we are the seller of the asset. When we lease back, we are also the leasee. Okay. We shall recognize only an amount of gain and loss that relate to the rights transferred. We should recognize because there's a disposal. There is a disposal of the asset. And we will recognize back the asset. Can you see? Dispose asset, recognize back the asset. but the amount is different. Okay, the amount is different. So we only recognize, because disposal we recognize gain or loss. So we only recognize the gain or loss that is related only on the rights that has been transferred. What do you mean by this? Yeah. This is my asset. Okay, this is my asset. I may sell to them all 100% for whatever amount. Okay, not all 100%, I sell. So I'm going to receive that full amount. And then when I lease back from this leasing company or others, the useful life can be 10 years. But when I lease back only 3 years. It's more than 1 year. Must I recognize asset? Yes. So when I recognize the asset here, the value that I'm going to recognize is only 60% of the original value. I sell the original asset full. When I lease back, because this one original is 10 years, assuming I lease back is about 3 years, and the value I'm going to recognize as asset is only about 60% of the original. So effectively, how many percent have I sold? 40%. So we only recognize the gain or loss on the 40%. Get it? So let's read one more time here. The seller, means us, here, shall recognize only the amount of gain or loss, because when we sell, we recognize the gain or loss, only relates to the rights transferred to the buyer. The rights transferred, based on the earlier example, 40%. I sell 100%, I lease back 60, means I've sold 40. So we recognize only the gain on the 40. The buyer, the lessor, shall account the purchase of the asset apply applicable standard based on their, because the buyer here is the lessor. Now, so lessor, we recognize the opposite of leasing. Okay, not? So as in they recognize as income. Okay, so I'll focus here mainly on leasing. Okay, as company F7 here. If they constitute a sale, then yes. Then the next thing, when we sell, we will lease back. Okay. If the fair value of the consideration for the sale does not equal to the fair value of the asset, when we sell, the fair value, the value, is not equal, does not equal to the fair value, the market value of the asset, or if the payment of lease is not at market rate, it's not at fair value, not at market value, entity should make adjustment to the sale proceed, to the money at fair value. I repeat, when we sell, we must sell at market value, correct? But what happens when, because we're going to lease back, you see what happens is when I sell, I'm going to lease back. If I sell them expensive, when I lease back, I'm going to pay a lot. Okay, if I sell them very, very cheap, means I have to pay them lesser. So, but means if I sell them more or sell them less, it will not be at market value. If it's a market value, no issue. So, if it's not at market value, does not equal to fair value or market value, then we have to make some adjustment to the sales proceed. If it's below market value, I sell to them cheap. Okay, I sell it to them cheap. They should be accounted for as a prepayment of lease payment. Why is it treated as a prepayment? Here, because I sell to them below market. This is the market price. I sell to them means I receive below market. So who is benefiting here? Others, correct? So they pay me less. So most of the money is there. Correct? So we call that a prepayment. We're going to treat that as a prepayment. On our lease payment here, because when we have to pay them the payment, we will pay them lesser, right? Yeah, because I sell to them below market price. So they when they lease it back to me, I'm going to pay them this payment lower. But look, we have to follow market value. Lower means as in because we receive lesser, that is considered as prepayment already. because some money is kept here. We treat that as prepayment. Okay. What happens if they sell above market value? It will be treated as additional financing. So are they going to give me more money? Yes, because when we sell above market, so we're going to receive additional here. Assuming this is above, this is the amount that is above the market value. So the additional amount that we receive, we treat it as additional financing. This amount that we receive is the market value. The additional amount we treat it as additional loan. Okay, it is another liability. Okay. Now, summarize it here. Transaction do not 4.3 transaction that do not constitute a sales. Transaction that do not constitute a sales. So these circumstances, the seller do not transfer the asset and continue to recognize it without any adjustment. The sale proceed is recognized as a liability. It's like a loan. You give me the money, I owe you the money. Okay, now have you learned that over here accounted for by applying IFRS 9? So we have financial liability, we have equity, and we got financial asset. So over here, it is a financial liability, and what we're going to do? We're going to amortize. Okay, apply amortized cost of fair value through profit and loss. So we don't learn fair value through profit and loss here, so amortized cost. Plus effective rate minus the nominal rate. Because it's not considered a sale, we do not de-recognize the asset. Money received is liability. So you turn to the next page. We have a summary there. If the sale constitute, the transfer constitute a sale or do not constitute a sale, we treat it as financial liability. If it constitute a sale and the fair value, the proceed is above market value, we treat it as a financing. If it's below, we treat it as a prepayment. Okay, so our example mostly if it's above market value. Above market value means the additional proceed is treated as loan. So what you're going to do there, they state here, if it's different, then we have to adjust. Okay, we put adjustment to where? Adjustment to the sale proceed. Okay, if it's different from the market value, we have to adjust the sale proceed. So this is a formula. Adjust means this liability we divide by the fair value times with the previous carrying value. Then we want to know how much, just remember the 60% and 40%. When we sell 100%, we lease back 60, we only recognize 40% as disposed, 60% as asset, 40% disposed. Okay, so it's like this. If the fair value is the fair value of the asset I sell is 1,000. When I lease back 60, 600, sorry. So means I sell 1,000, I lease back 600, I recognize back 600. So I retain how many percent? 60%, right? So I retain 60% of the carrying amount. Can you understand the meaning behind this formula? Yes, fair value, I lease back 600, lease liability. So I lease back asset 600, 60% of the carrying amount. Then I have to recognize the gain or loss, right? It should be the 40%. So lease liability, this is a gain or loss recognized only to the extent that is related to the transfer. So this is the formula. So we're going to look at the example to understand this formula now. Yeah. Entity X sell a building to entity Y for 5 million. This is a sale proceed. Immediately before the transaction, the carrying amount of the building in the financial statement of the entity was 3.5. Carrying amount is the amount in the book. 3.5 million. And the sale proceed, I sell it for 5 million. Continue at the same time, X enter in the contract with Y for the right to use the building for 20 years. I lease it back with an annual payment of 200 at the end. The term and condition of the transaction are such that the transfer of the building is satisfied by the requirement determining by the performance obligation satisfied in IFRS 15. Means the transaction constitute a sale. The transaction constitute a sale. Accordingly, X and Y accounts for the transaction as a sale and leaseback. The fair value is actually 4.5. For fair value 4.5 million. Did I sell above? So if we sell above fair value, the excess is actually the loan. So how much is the loan here? 500,000. So this is actually a financing, a loan. The present value is actually, the present value of minimum lease payment is 2492. So I must pay back 2492 because I sell to them, I lease it back 2492, and the annual interest rate is about 5%. So we look at the working next page. There, 0.5 is a financing, is a loan. Present value of minimum lease payment 2492 given. But if you really need to calculate, then we have to calculate year by year. Meaning, for 20 years, 0 to 20, every year when I pay 200,000, all the way to 20 years, I discount. The present value is this much. So this is the present value. I'm going to recognize asset. I'm going to recognize liability. I sell how much? 5 million. The fair value is 4.5. But when I lease back, it's only 2 million plus. Okay. So I need to calculate the percentage now. Now, of this present value of minimum lease payment, 500 relate to additional financing, so we must take it out these different loans here. So when we take out the different loan of 500,000, the balance here left is 1992. Is it okay? Can I? So 500,000 is related to loan, so we take out the present value of minimum lease payment is 1992. So first we need to know how much of the proportion that is we're going to recognize and retain. Here, formula lease liability 1992 out of the fair value. I sell 45, I lease back 19. Okay, how many percent is that? I sell 45, I lease back 19. Yeah, it's about 44%, right? Sell 100%, lease back 44. So I retain 44%. So that 44% you times with your original carrying value in our book. So I retain 1549 asset. Correct, no? Can? Okay, back to the original concept is when I sell 100%, the 100% is 4500. Okay? The fair value, not the sale proceed. The 500,000 is a loan. We take out the 500,000. The fair value is 4.5 here. When I sell 4.5, I lease back how much? The present value of minimum lease payment is 1992.4. Can you see? So means I retain 1992. I retain how many percent? 1992 divided by 4.5. So that was about 44%. So I retain 44% means the carrying value, original amount in my book is 35. And I retain 44%. So you take 44% times 35. This is the amount retained. Okay? Means I've sold how many percent? If this is 44%, I've sold about 56%. Is it okay? How much is my profit when I sell? Here. The profit is 1 million. Everything I recognize 1 million. But did I sell everything? No. I sell only 56%. I retain 44. I sell 56. Okay, can you see? Repeat. This is a percentage here. In my book is 35. When we sell, we must take it out. Correct. I take out 35. When I buy back, I must recognize back the asset. So what happens is 35, which is in my book, 44% is retained. So I will retain 44% of 35. Okay, so this is my asset. This is my asset. Then ROU, right of use asset, means the 56% has been sold. Okay, 56% has been sold, meaning we can therefore recognize 56% profit or loss. So you look at the working here. This is still the 44% of the gain. 44% of the gain, because we retain 44%. So this 44% haven't sold. We should not recognize this 44% gain. So we only recognize 56%. You see what happened? This 44% is retained. So don't recognize. The 44% asset retained. So the gain of 44% we don't recognize. So we only recognize the balance. So this is my total profit 100%. I minus the 44% gain that I should not recognize there. So the one that I recognize will be the balance 56%. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, because my book, I sell, of course, we always recognize at fair value. So I make a gain of 1 when I sell. But when I buy back, means I actually retain 44%. So I don't recognize 44% of it. So when you look at the formula on double journal entry, I received 5 million. Here, proceed receive. And I recognize back the 44% asset, 1549 here. and I credit, because I dispose of, I credit off my original 3.5 building. I'll debit back 1.5 lah. There's a gain of 5.5, gain is credit side, and there's a lease liability of 2492 there. 2492. Okay? So let's try this one. Question 7. Seller sell building 8, carrying amount prior is 6. Carrying amount. Lease back for 5 years, 120 payable in arrears. Remaining useful life is 15 years. I just want to lease back 5 years. Transaction satisfy IFRS 15, so you counter for as a sale and lease back. Fair value is 750. Interest rate is 4.5. So present value of minimum lease payment not given. Payable in arrears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 120. Nine, 5, 9, 9, 5, 5. It's given an answer, right? The present value. Next page. 5 to 6. Passed away. I tell you what, normally they will give you, if it's 10% rate lah, okay, they give you year one, it's 0.909, right? I mean, this is 4.5 lah. So if it's 10%, second year will be 0.826, year 3 will be 0.751, year 4 will be 0.683, year 5 will be 0.621. Example lah. This one will be given. Most of the time it will be given. They won't give you the whole table lah. You've seen before the whole table, right? This one will be given. And they will also give you this. The total of the 5 years. So if it's like this one here, if it's at 10%, you just take 120,000. This is the total, is I'm not sure how much they will give you here lah. Okay, so let's say it's 4.64 whatever. Okay, let's say it's 4.64, then you just take 120,000 times 4.64, you get the present value. Okay, here I did not give, so I calculate here individually just to prove this because it's given. Okay, we can just take this enough, but I just want to prove that it's 5.2. Therefore, we divide 1 year, divide 2 year. Your calculator, you just take 120 divide 1.045, divide again 1.045, divide again 1.045. So 526,797,798. Okay. So we took out 150, 50 or 150, 850. Yeah, 50 only. Yeah. Done. So financial ratio, which okay. How come mine is the old one? No, I use that the old one. No, yours is the new one. I think I did use the old one. Okay. 2017. Okay. It's the same one. It's the same one. Because this one I didn't make the changes to the pages. Okay, give me one more minute. Double confirm. Yeah, okay. It's the same, just the number of pages, right? Page number. So ratio, we have a one mean ratio, first mean ratio, profitability ratio. The second one will be short-term solvency means liquidity. Liquidity we learned before, you learned before, right? Current ratio, liquid asset test ratio. Current ratio, asset. What's the ideal ratio for current ratio? Ideal ratio. So the ratio when we calculate is the formula is current asset divided by current liability, right? Ideally it should be 2 to 1. Okay, 2 to 1. Our ratio is 2 to 1, 2.1 to 1, 1.1 to 1, correct? Ideally it is 2 current asset, 1 liability. What's the ideal ratio for asset test? 1 to 1. Okay, ideal ratio is 1 asset, 1 liability. Means $1 of liability, $1 assets covered. Then you look at next page, number 3, we have a long-term solvency debt and gearing ratio. Debt ratio, gearing ratio, yes? There we go. Yeah, to calculate. Sorry? Yeah. But you not familiar. Maybe lah. Interest. And last one, efficiency ratio, the current asset, current liability, like your inventory, receivable, and payable. So the main category lah. Okay, but that one not so important. Most important one is the formula is a requirement. Most important one is to interpret the ratio. Okay, now formula, that one is you have to know. Okay, now calculation you have to know. Interpretation definitely. So we're going to start with the first one. Gross profit rate margin, GP margin, and the next one will be net profit margin. Okay, we start with profitability. Profitability means we want to calculate the profitability of the company. So we have gross profit, we got profit before interest tax, profit before tax, profit after tax. So many types of profit. So we have therefore got a few formula for profitability ratio. Formula GP margin. Let's calculate for this company. A and B. Company A GP margin is gross profit over sales. So answer, we do it here, company A, company B. GP 39 divided by 79. In your exam, put in the formula, put in the figure, 39, 79, 6, times with 100. 100%. $49. Company B? Sorry? Yeah. 60. Let's calculate for profit margin. And this is PBIT. 20, 60. Okay. Huh? $25. The other one? 33. ROCE. Okay, ROCE is PBIT. Right, PBIT is 20,000. How to get capital employed? Yeah, total asset minus current liability or equity plus debt. Okay, now here, total asset minus current liability or equity plus debt. This capital employed is very important, as in because you need capital employed for 3 other ratios. If you got this wrong, means there are all 3 ratios will be wrong. So capital employed is total asset minus current liability or equity plus debt. Which one? $61? Yes, correct. You see, now we try to understand this. Yeah. Oh, pause. Okay, no. Recorded. So we have a asset minus liability equals to equity, correct? What is equity again? We learned before. Equity. Didn't statement of changes in equity on this? No. I think what's equity. Is it your ordinary share capital? Ordinary share capital. Do we include retained earnings? Yeah, your share premium, revaluation reserves, retained earnings, and your general reserve. This is capital. These are all my reserve. Capital plus reserve is my equity. C plus R is my E. So, can I do this? Non-current asset plus current asset, that is 2. Less liability means my current liability and minus my non-current liability to get my equity. Can I transfer my non-current liability NCL to this side? Yeah, non-current asset plus current asset minus current liability is my equity, which is all this. Capital plus reserves plus non-current liability. Yes. So this asset here, NCA plus CA, is it my total asset? Minus current liability is actually my equity plus my debt. So that's why capital employed is equity plus debt, or total asset minus current liability. Yeah. Okay. Shareholders equity plus long-term debt. Total asset, this is my current plus non-current asset minus current liability is the same. Alright. So when you look at this one here, that's how you are correct. You are correct 61 because ordinary share is capital, retained earning is reserves, 46 is actually my equity. So equity and this is my debt. Therefore, this is my capital employed. So why we call it capital employed? Equity is from who? The investment is from shareholder, 46. But what if I have not enough money, I need more? Where can I source my finance from? Besides equity, I can get it from the debt finance. Okay, debt market. So debt financing. So equity plus debt both add up is my capital. So it's divided by capital employed. Yeah. I want to know when I use my capital, both equity plus debt, how much profit I make from the capital employed. 61,000 times 100%. Hey, why I put here? Okay, so it's 20,000 divided by 61,000 times 100%. Company A and B. .8%. .33%. Okay. Asset turnover. Sales divided by capital employed. The answer must be in times. Yes. Sorry. This one. 36. Okay. Asset turnover is sales divided by capital employed. Sales is 79.6. Capital employed is 61. And the answer will be in times. 1.3 times. The other one, 1.07 times. Okay, we explain this profitability ratio first. profitability ratio. We start with GP margin. So formula, no issue, just memorize it, apply put in the answer, apply, and we got the answer. Interpretation. Here, if my margin is 30% and the margin increased to 37%, what does this indicate? GP margin, gross profit margin, increase from 30 to 37. It's either from last year to this year or comparing company A and company B. So what are we going to focus when the margin has increased by 7%? Profit, sorry, profit increase. Fatima? Same. Huh? Sales increase. So we have two answers here. You say sales increase. The other one say profit increase. Now, Chongman, how? Cost of sales lower. So all are wrong. Of course, it's not 100% wrong lah. So I would say if you to be strict on the answer here, sales increase, profit increase, cost decrease, wrong. Okay, because you're not 100% correct in this case. You see, to prove it to you here, that you say sales increase because the margin increase because sales increase. I'll give you this example. 1,000 is 2017, 2018. You say sales increase, I prove it otherwise, sales reduce. Cannot, but margin can still increase. You see here, this is 80%, 800. We want margin increase, this one will be 500. So 200 and 400. So is it 20%? GP over sales. 400 divided by this. 4 divided by 9. So it's 44%. Can you see margin has increased? And when you say sales increase and margin increase because sales increase. No, you can see sales can be reduced and yet my margin can be increased. Correct or not? So that's why this statement is not correct. Then when we mention profit, the reason why margin increase because profit increase. Same thing is we can prove it otherwise. Okay, how? Profit increase. So let's say this is 1,000 and this is how to profit increase, but I want my margin increase but profit drop. Margin increase, profit drop. Okay, let's put in one first. This is 10%. Profit drop. Let's put it 80, so profit drop. But margin can still increase because my sales is 500 and this one is 420. So how many percent? 16%. So profit drop but margin increase. Okay, so that's why this statement is not correct. Of course, cost of sales we will prove it out. We will look at the concept, then you can understand all three. Okay, now, so the proper one will be like this. Margin has gone up. Margin, we are not focusing on the total value per se. You look at this one here. If I sell 1 unit, my selling price or my sales is $10. Means selling price is $10 per unit. My total cost is about $7. So my profit is 3. So my GP margin is 30. Okay. If I sell 10 units, my selling price will remain selling price. It will be 100, correct? And my cost per unit when I buy or when I produce, either I buy or I produce myself, $7. So 70. Unchanged to selling price, unchanged to my cost, my profit increase. What happened to my margin? same. My margin is same. Can you see? Has my profit increased? Yes. Has my sales increased? Cost increased? Yes. So meaning the quantity here will not affect our margin. So meaning when we compare margin, we don't look at whether the company is sell more or sell less. We look at on the selling price and the cost overall. Okay, so we have now understood that it is not affected by the output or by the sales unit. If I sell at the same price, same cost, everything increased, but the margin still remains. It's not affected by output. Clear? Now, if I sell 100 units and I give discount 10%. So 1 unit I'll be selling at $9, correct? So 1 unit from 10 I sell 9. My cost remain. I just want to give my customer discount because they buy a lot from me or to boost up my sales quantity. So 200. What is my margin? Two divided by 9, 22. Huh? Yeah, because we okay, this one $10, we're gonna sell it at $9. So at $9, so this is my sales. Okay, so your question on discount is when you give a settlement discount. You pay early, I give you discount. That is when we recognize the discount allowed. This one is straight away give you a discount on the sales. This is a trade discount. We have trade discount, we have settlement discount. So this is straight away we minus on the trade on the transaction itself. So my margin, okay, now reduce. My quantity remain, but my margin reduce. What is the reason? Yes, the keyword here is the selling price, nothing to do with sales. Sales has increased, margin same. Sales has increased, margin same. Same has decreased, margin drop. But the drop here, nothing to do with the sales. It's selling price. Is it okay? So just now when you say sales up or down is wrong, it's actually selling price. So just now when you say cost, it's actually the cost per unit. Okay, let's prove it here. My selling price same, $10. Because I buy in bulk from my customer, they give me a discount of $1 each. So, or because of my efficiency, because I produce myself, I incur material costs, I produce myself labor costs and overhead. Due to change in the material price, lower quality, or maybe I buy in bulk, that's why cheaper. Labor, because of efficiency, I hire skilled labor, or after 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, they become very skillful. So that's why they become more efficient. Overhead, because I move my factory to Vietnam, I move my factory to other country, whereby my rental cost is cheaper. Everything, the cost has reduced. So as a result, my production cost has reduced from 7 to 6. My selling price I maintain. So this is my profit 400. So my margin will be 400 divided by 1000, 40. So increase from 30 to 40. What is the reason? Selling price same. Because we compare $10, $10 same. That's why it's not affected by selling price. The margin increased because my cost, manufacturing cost has reduced per unit. Okay, right? Therefore margin up. If my selling price, I sell 100 units, I increase my selling price by 10%. Reason is because my $7, because the government increased petrol price, the government imposed all these taxes, example, and then exchange rate, due to exchange rate, everything has increased, material has increased, labor increased, and overhead increased. So my cost increased by 10%, $7.70. Okay, right? And because my cost increased, I have to pass on this to my customer. I have to sell it extra at higher price. So I charge also 10% higher. So cost 10% higher. My selling price also now has 10% higher, $11. 1100 up by 10%, up by 10%. So I pass on the cost to my customer. So 330. What is my margin? %30. So if my cost increased by 10% and my selling price increased by the same percentage, my margin will maintain. But you can see my profit overall has increased. Can you see? So initially you thought government imposed all this exchange rate, raw material shortage, cost increased by 10. Very unhappy, right? You charge extra 10 because the customer know about it, so they cannot accept the increase. And you notice or not, your profit also increased. Everything increased by 10%, your profit also increased by 10%. Suddenly, you notice why sometimes when we have GST imposed, last time SST where they were imposed, when all the costs go up, a lot of businessmen, they also quite happy. Because everyone know the cost go up. So when I sell, I will sell at a higher price. Okay, not consumer no, consumer accept. And now originally I make 300. Now I make how much? 330. So a lot of businessmen, when cost increase, they actually, and everybody knows about it and aware of it and accepted the increase. Actually, businessmen can easily make money from there. Okay, so users are willing to pay, or they have already accepted that. But who's going to lose out? The consumer. So now, but let's put that aside. So now we can prove that the increase or decrease is due to selling price or the manufacturing cost in material cost, labor cost, overhead. Okay, it is affected by selling price and your cost per unit. Okay, if there is a percentage of increase of 10% in cost with a similar percentage in selling price, margin will maintain. What happens if it's like this? If my cost up by 10 and I took this advantage by increasing 20% in my selling price, I sell to my customer, what will happen to my overall margin? How about that? It will go up. Okay, not? If this one up by 5%, the cost 5%, or put it this way, 5%. Cost has increased by 10%. If I were to increase 10% to my customer will run away. So I can only increase about 5%. My margin overall will go down. Clear? Cost increase in a faster pace than my selling price increase. Therefore, overall margin will go down. Okay. Now, so now we know this fact already. Let's continue with the next one, expenses. My expenses is $2, and therefore my net profit before tax and interest will be $1. What is my net profit margin? What's the formula for net profit margin? PBIT divided by sales. PBIT, let's say net profit is PBIT, 1 divided by 10, 10%. Units increased by 10 times, sales up by 10 times, and my expenses up by 10 times. Profit is $10, also up by 10 times. What is my net profit margin? 10. So it is not affected by the volume. Percentage here is not affected by you sell more or you sell less. Nothing to do with that. Okay, not? When you sell more, your expenses higher, you spend. Now let's look at this. My selling price remain. I sell more, selling price remain, cost remain, margin remain. And my expenses here, 180. Up 10 times, this one up to 180, so 120. What happened to my net profit margin? 12. Why my net profit margin increase? Be careful with your answer. Just now you mentioned sales up, wrong. So now why your net profit margin increase? Because expenses lower. So you mentioned expenses lower. Wrong. Check. Margin increase and you say expenses lower. You check my expenses 20. 180. Is it higher? 20 increase to 180. Increase by 160. Up. My expenses up. So when you say my expenses lower, it's totally wrong. It's very obvious expenses up. Expenses per unit. So yeah, more or less there. Expenses per unit. But we don't call it expenses per unit. We call it the proportion. The expenses is proportionally lower. Proportionally lower. In percentage term is lower. Check. Yeah. When I sell $10, $7 go to my cost. Is it 70%? So I left with 30%. When I sell $10, $2 go to expenses. How many percent go to expenses? 20. When I sell 100, $20 go to expenses. 20 divided by 100, 20%. So in terms of percentage, 20% go to expenses. 180 out of 1,000, 180 is my expenses. How many percent? 18. So the expenses is proportionally lower. It's not expenses lower, but the word here is we use is proportionally lower. In percentage term is lower by 2%. Therefore, our profit is higher by 2%. So yes, we focus on expenses. Okay, GP margin, we focus on selling price. Cost, we focus on the cost per unit, as in manufacturing, labor, and overhead. When it comes to net profit margin, we focus on expenses. Clear? So now, if I were to tell you this here, this is $80. Means this one is 120. What is my net profit margin? 80 divided by 900. 8.9%. So 12 become 8.9 or 10 become 8.9. Is it because expenses higher? No, we don't mention expenses. We look at the proportion. So I do not know yet. So what is my proportion? 120 divided by 900 is 13%. Huh? Correct, 13%. So in terms of expenses, which company manage better if we got A, B, C, D? You check. Actually, this company manage better in terms of their expenses. Understand? Because every $1 spent or earned, only 13% go to expenses. But this one here, 20% go to expenses, 18%. So I managed to actually reduce my cost. My cost measure to my measurement to reduce my cost has actually succeeded. But why you notice overall net profit margin is it lower? Not because of expenses, mainly because of the GP margin. Can you see? Overall profit is lower, maybe because of the selling price. As we know, yeah, the selling price is lower. Therefore, the net GP margin is lower. When GP margin is lower, it brings down to your net profit lower net profit margin. But luckily, you are able to improve on your cost expenses. Got it? So be careful. So we need all this percentage to interpret. So, is that okay? Yeah. We look at this ratio. Company A, company B, 49 and 60. Why is company B margin higher? What could be the possible reason? Possible reason. Focus on which two? selling price and cost, right? What happened to company B? Company A 49, company B 60 margin. GP margin focus on selling price, focus on the cost. What happened to the selling price? Decrease, down. The margin increase for B, or higher for B. Means selling price what happened? For which company? What happened? Oh, GP margin higher than this. So you have to come back to here. GP margin higher because of two things, right? Selling price and cost per unit. So what happened to the selling price for company B? Is it higher? Yes. This one we should know. What happened to the cost? It could be because the cost is lower, right? But now, this explanation is not professional enough. If your answer you say the selling price higher or the cost is lower, okay, it's just on the surface only. My next question, which company is selling higher-end product? High-end product, more higher-end product, as in more branded stuff. B. Why? Because we know higher selling price is related to company with that sell higher end product. So we can say that B actually sell higher end product, therefore their selling price is higher. Can we say that? Or which company actually has got a better control in their cost? B also. And when it comes to cost, they have three costs: material cost, labor cost, and overhead. Probably they are able to use the use machinery. When they use machinery, the cost is lower, is faster when they produce. Okay. Let's look at net profit margin 33 and 25. 33 and 25. Net profit margin. What do you look at? Correct. So which company manage their expenses better? Manage their costs better. Expenses, sorry. Let's check. 49 GP. We need to less expenses to get net profit. So drop by how many percent? Expenses? It's about 24%, right? Expenses. What about this side? 60 become 33. Expenses is about 27. So which company manage better? A. Because their expenses is 24% of their sales. Every $1, 24 cents. Every $1, 27 cents. Of course, A will be better in terms of controlling the cost. Decrease. No, let's not put in this narrow adder. This is the expenses. The proportion of the expenses is 24. The proportion of the expenses is 27. So A is better managed. So what is in the expenses? Can be many things. Depreciation. It can be salary. It can be rental. It can be many things. It can be advertisement. So you focus on those expenses. Okay. Now, you see, can you see company A, they sell higher end product because their margin is higher? Higher end product, margin is higher. Company B, their selling price is higher, correct or not? Can we say that they actually promote their brand? They advertise, they do promotion, they have a lot of ambassadors to promote their brand, improve the reputation of the brand. So they spend more on advertisement. Agree? Then that's why 27. Okay. Next, what is return on capital employed? It's on the return on their capital. Capital can be equity, capital can be debt. So their capital is 61,000 for A. From the 61, they make profit of 20. How many percent? 33. Is this a good return? 33%. Overall is a good return, but when you compare with company B, is lower. Cannot. So in terms of return, the user, the shareholders here, it will be lower, but it's not much difference lah. 33%. Overall, still considered okay. What's about the next one? Asset turnover. 79 divided by 61 is actually here. If it's 40 divided by 20, is it 2 to 1? 2 to 1, right? So it means this is 79.6 divided by 61 is actually 1.3 to 1. Meaning, this is my capital employed. $1 of capital employed will generate $1.30 sales. Whereas for this company, 107 to 1. So which company is better? A or B? A, because every dollar that is employed into the business generate 1.3 sales. The other one is only 1.07. Of course, the higher the better in terms of the sales. Higher sales will tend to have higher profit. Is it okay? So we utilize our capital employed. Then you look at the name of the ratio here, asset turnover. You look at the formula, sales divided by capital employed, and it's called asset turnover. Are we confused now? Sales divided by capital employed, and it has got nothing to do with return, is related to asset. Why? Because what's the formula for capital employed? Total asset minus current liability or debt plus equity. So if we take this capital employed as total asset divided by capital current liability, is this my asset? Yeah, total asset minus current liability, actually $1 is my asset. So every dollar invested in my total asset minus current liability, the asset, I generate 1.3. So this is called asset turnover. I invest in my asset, I have fully utilized my asset and generate 1.3. Okay. So you have all this ratio, and you look at the bottom here, ROCE formula, PBIT divided by capital employed times 100. What is net profit margin? PBIT divided by sales times 100 means 1. What is asset turnover? Times 100% means times 1, ignore the 100%. Okay, cancel off the sales, because when this one equal, sales you cancel off, I left with PBIT divided by capital employed. Exactly. ROCE. So let's see how much is my PBIT for this question. Company A. What's my net profit margin? Company A? 25. PBIT is 25, right? Okay. Sorry, in terms of the value. No. Okay. What I want is sorry, the net profit margin, not PBIT. The profit margin for company A. Yeah, 25. Net profit margin is 25. What is the asset turnover? 1.3. So 25 is 0.25 times 1.3. What do I get? 32.5, right? Percent. So what's my ROCE as per our answer, company A? Yeah, 32.8. Yeah, of course with some decimal, actually it should be the same. There, 32.8. If you use more decimal, then you'll get 32.8. Okay. Meaning, let's interpret this one. Every dollar invested in my asset, or capital employed, I generate $1.30 sales. Correct. Of the $1.30 sales, 35% is my profit. Therefore, I got my ROC, the return. $1.30, 25% of the $1.30 is my ROCE. So that's why overall is 32.5. ROC is 32.5. Okay. So in your exam, this three is very important together one. You can look at the past question, the old format. The examiner like to explain 1, 2, and 3, these three together. ROCE, and then we follow through to a net profit margin and asset turnover. So they explain one by one, ROCE, net profit, asset turnover, all three. Alright. ROE is profit after tax minus preference dividend. Where is my profit after tax? Here, 15. This profit after tax, 15.5, belongs to who? Shareholder, company. And I got how many types of shareholder? 2. Sorry, this question got 1. But we know there are 2 types of shareholder, ordinary and preference. Which one should I pay first? Preference. Then the balance belongs to ordinary. We learned this before in earning per share. So this question do not have preference, meaning 15,500 minus preference dividend, which is 0, means the balance all belongs to ordinary shareholder. And what is equity shareholders fund? 46. All this belongs to shareholder, 46. So when shareholder put in 46, their profit will be 15. All this belongs to the equity shareholder. How many percent is their return? $33.7%. This is for shareholders' return. Okay. Next is current ratio, current asset divided by current liability. Ideally, it should be 2 to 1. Let's look at this company. Current asset minus divide current liability. How much? Yes. Fatima? 2, 2? Yes, correct. 2.34 to 1. This one is? To 1. Current ratio, quick asset ratio. You minus out the inventory, right? You know why, right? Don't know. You just have to take out the inventory, so current asset will be lower, therefore ratio will be lower. Yes, answer? 1.83 to 1. 1.25 to 1. So you can see from here, ideally it should be 2 to 1. From here, we can see B may have got some problem, right? Below 2. But after we look at the acid test ratio, in which we take out the inventory. Why? Because inventory is one of the least liquid assets. This is more difficult to convert to cash. So when I got $1 of asset liability over here, I have $2.34 asset, which include inventory, which is difficult to convert to cash to pay. That's why we take out the inventory here. So can I say that 1.83 those liquid assets can be easily converted to cash? 1.83? Yeah, because I took out inventory means the balance are like your receivable, your cash, your bank. So these are easily converted to meet the short-term liability. So when you look at B, from 1.6 to 1.25, there's a slight drop in our ratio. Can I say they have a very minimum inventory? Yes. So overall, both companies do not have any liquidity problem. You can say that. Okay, they have no problem servicing their short-term liability. Okay. So this is acid test. Debt ratio will debt ratio. This one, next one, number 3. Debt ratio. Total debt divided by total asset. This ratio very rare. So we're going to skip this one. Total asset is total liability divided by total asset. The most common one will be gearing ratio. So we're going to focus on gearing ratio. Is to calculate the level of debt. You can see from here is D divided by E plus D. What is E plus D? Equity plus debt. Can we call it capital employed? Yes. So 3 formula that needed capital employed. Asset turnover, ROCE, and gearing. Asset turnover, ROCE, gearing. All 3 need capital employed. So what is my debt here? Percentage. My debt is 15,061. 15 divided by 15 plus 46. D divided by D plus E. (24.6%). The other one, 29%. So both is to calculate the level of debt. So of course D is higher than A. If you are comparing in terms of different year, means the debt level has increased. Can we say that? If it's different year, then the debt has increased. But in this case here, it's different company. Means company B is higher. So, but overall, if B when it's higher, by right, the financial risk is higher. But overall, it's 29% considered highly geared. Highly geared. If not sure, then I'll give you this example. The formula given is D divided by D plus E, capital employed, right? So let's say my debt, I borrow $1. Equity is from the shareholder, $1. Okay, shareholder put in $1, I borrow $1. So I have $2 as my capital. So what is my level of debt? $1 debt compared to $2 of equity. So 50%. What does this 50% mean? Of the $2 capital employed, actually half of it is from borrowing. So is this considered high risk? Normal. I mean, it's still acceptable, maximum. Why? Because when I have $2, who will be the last person to be paid in the event of liquidation? Shareholder, equity. And when I borrow $1, okay, so this $1, at least I got someone who is taking higher risk than this debt holder here. So they will be the last person to be paid, not the debt holder. So if you got any asset, you will be paid first, then the debt equity. So 50%, half, considered not very, considered as acceptable. We won't say high or low in this case, but it's acceptable. Clear? But if I borrow even further, can you see here? If I borrow another 0.2, it will be 1.2. 1.2 plus 1. So how many percent? Is 1.2 divided by 2.2. 54.5%. So my gearing ratio has increased. So I'm taking more out of my capital employed. More than 50% is from borrowing. Is it high risk? Slightly higher now. So therefore, 50% is taken as our threshold. To determine high risk or low risk, we take 50%. Then, one more. Gearing ratio, sometimes it can be debt divided by equity. If this is the information, debt is $1, equity is $1. So it is 100%. You times with 100%. So $1 equity, and I have $1 debt. So 100%. Debt 100% of my equity. So the acceptable level is 100% if we use this formula. Okay, so the acceptable level for this will be 50%. That's why different formula, acceptable level, threshold will be different. But the information is still the same. Both is gearing ratio, both acceptable. That's why when you look at past year question, they'll tell you which one they are using. Okay, gearing ratio, let's say now if I ask you, gearing ratio I have calculated for company C. Their gearing ratio is 72%. High or low? The rest are not given, except for company C gearing is 72. Is it high or is it low? Actually, we can't tell. Why? Because the formula, if it's this formula, then it is high. But if the formula, they use this formula, then it will be low. That's why if they tell us, the question gives you 72, is they will tell you is debt to equity ratio. Means this is debt to equity ratio. They are using this. So 72 is not high. Okay, not? If they say 72% is because they use debt divided by debt plus equity, this formula, then 72 is considered high. They have high risk, financial risk. So later we look at the past question, then you can see they'll tell you exactly which one they use when they give you the percentage. Okay. So we use back this example last one before we go forward. So increase to 1.2. This is debt, this is equity. Increase by 1.2. So this is 1.2 divided by 1. So yeah, 110% is above 100%. Slightly high risk. Okay. So this is B divided by D plus C. So our threshold using this formula is 50%. Correct? 50%. Sometimes you are not sure whether 50 or 100, you use this to determine. Okay, 1 to 1 is the maximum we can accept generally. Then you go and calculate using this ratio. 1 divided by 2, 50. So our acceptable level 50. So both company has got low financial risk. Okay, but in terms of borrowing money in the future, which company has more ability to borrow in the future? A or B? A. Ability to borrow more in the future will be A because their ratio is still considered quite low or lower than B. Alright, so that's how we interpret gearing. And because when we have borrowing, we're going to have interest. Interest cover, last one, PBIT divided by interest. My PBIT will be 20. My interest will be the one below it. So 20 divided 1/5. Divided by 1. It's about 13 times. This one is about 16 times. What does this explain? Which company has got lower risk to servicing their loan? The inability to service their loan. This is to calculate the ability to service their loan. So which company has got more ability to service their loan? Huh? This is PBT, my profit. My interest is 1. 16.1 means my profit that I made is able to pay 16 times my interest. Whereas A, the profit made is able to pay 13 times the interest. So in terms of ability to service the interest will be company B. But again, the book says as long as it's 4 times and above is considered good enough. Actually, both companies have no problem servicing their interest. Cannot. Ideally, it should be 4 times. Around 4 times. So now, what if I tell you, company A, their sales drop by half here. Company A sales drop by half. Would the cost also drop by half? When I sell lesser, the cost also lesser, right? So meaning my profit also drop by half. Okay? Assuming my commission, I have to some save cost, I have some save causing cost measure. So my expenses also will drop slightly. So can I say my overall profit also will drop if my sales will drop by half? I repeat, because business is so bad, this is my sales 80,000 79. If I sell tables and chairs, okay, if my sales drop by half, my cost, do you think will also drop by half? Cost of sales. Yes. If I sell one table is $10. 2 tables will be $20. If I sell half only, my cost will only be half. Correct? So can I say my gross profit will also be around half? Slightly lesser. Of course, it won't be exactly half. So yes, my profit will be dropped by half, almost. And of course, with some cost measure, lesser commission, lesser traveling, lesser parking, everything lesser, my expenses may also drop. But maybe not by half. But would this eventually turn my profit to be lower? Yes. So when my sales drop by half, operation affected. My profit before tax also affected, correct? What happened to my interest? Will it drop? My interest won't drop because the bank won't tell you that, okay, since your business not good, I'll charge you lower interest. No. The 1.5 will still need to be paid. So if my sales drop by half, my profit, everything drop by half, means this one here become 10,000 assuming. Will I still be able to pay my interest? 10,000, 1.5. Yes, meaning 13 times is very, very good enough. When I drop, still able to service my interest, because interest, if I don't pay, the bank can come after me and sell off my asset, close down my company. So that's why I'm looking at my ability to pay my interest from my profit. Overall, 13 times, very good already. Even if it's 4,000 and 1,000 4 times, drop by half, still got 2,000. So considered quite safe, four times. 1369 is good enough. Yeah. So this is on an interest cover. So we come back after the break. We continue with the efficiency and also the rest. Done.